okay? Even though I was pre-vet, I'm not a vet. Heartworm pills and things like that, interceptor and all that stuff. If you live in an area like the Northeast that we are ridden with mosquitoes, and you know, yeah, that works. Some of the heartworm pills will actually prevent not just heartworms, but stomach and intestinal things as well, like roundworms, whipworms, things like that. So, like my dogs, Ridgebacks, don't get fleas and ticks. I've never pulled one off of my dogs. They don't like the fur. It's a very short, coarse fur. But anywhere where you have mosquitoes, you should have them on heartworm. January, February, March, you cannot do it, but then you got to retest them. And then when you retest them, it costs, $80, $100 to retest them. I just keep my guys on it year round. And if you forget them, I know for a fact that you can also, if you skip, let's say you miss 1 month, as long as you don't miss 2 months, you're okay. So, but check with your vet on all of that stuff to be specific. All right. Night Rider, you have hunting dogs. If you have dogs that are outside, or you live in an area or walk in an area with a lot of stuff, foliage and trees and all, yeah, put them on it. Do we have any other questions?
Janice, you've got 3 people with their hands up. You've got Anna Karenina from the United Kingdom.
Okay, Anna, please go.
Okay, thanks very much. I have 2 Jack Russell Terrierists, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I say the word terrorist advisedly because that, quite frankly, that's what they are. You described all the bad behaviours, and mine have them in in spades. And I am aware of the dominant thing. I am aware that that we need to be more dominant with them, and I'm hoping that sort of by coming here I shall pick up a few tips. One of the big problems is with them that it's about this dominance thing. They show it by their barking and jumping and that sort of thing, but the big one, the 3-year-old, shows it to the 1-year-old by, in many ways, humping is one of the things, barking, biting, and being really nasty, being really stealing her toys and not letting her do anything. How do I go about sort of balancing them out with this?
Okay, I'm laughing because, yeah, that's what a lot of them are. Because they're small and cute and people get them for different reasons, but they are a dominant breed dog, Jack Russells. They're no less dominant than pit bulls. And Mark and I always laugh if we have like somebody who has a Jack Russell and somebody who has like a people aggressive like Mastiff or people aggressive Bull Terrier or Pit Bull. I will give him the Jack Russell to do, and I will do the 160-pound dog that wants to kill me. It doesn't have to be that way, though. First of all, when you're the pack leader, it's you, that's it. So you have 2 Jack Russells. So now one Jack is trying to take over and tell the other Jack, hey, this is my territory. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to give you the rules. So what you have to do is teach Jack Russell number 1 that Jack Russell number 2 is equal to him. Within a pack, there's always a strong to the weak. So I have 8 dogs. So I have Angel is on top and Willow, and then it goes down below that until we get to the bottom, and those are the less dominant dogs. But in my pack, and in a human pack, where we have 1 human and 10 dogs, 1 human and 1 dog, 10 humans and 1 dog, whatever it is, we always have to be the dominant one. So you have to protect your little Jack Russell because he can't protect himself. Your job is to provide and protect for all of your pack members equally. So if your one dog is jumping on your other dog, nipping at your other dog, eventually it's going to probably turn into redirected aggression when they'll be barking outside at something and they can't get at what they want to get at. And you can't train a dog to like another dog. Because if I don't like somebody, like if Jack Russell number 1 doesn't like Jack Russell number 2, you can't make them love each other, but guess what? They got to get along. Okay? It's like people who get divorced and they don't really like each other at all anymore. But for the kids, you got to get along. We are always teaching our dogs. And in order for us to teach our dogs, we have to treat them each equally. So when Jack Russell #1, the more dominant one, decides, I'm going to be the boss, I'm going to boss you around, and I'm going to, be the boss of you, you're going to bite him. So remember, humping, jumping, barking, growling, blocking, and bumping. Bumping is when they want affection. They bump you in the arm or bump you in the leg. Blocking is probably what your dogs are doing, where the one dog, you're petting the one who's less dominant, and then the more dominant one comes over, gets between, and may even growl at him or jumps on him. All right? So I'm going to let Mark get on and talk about Jack Russells and dominance and what you have to prevent and why one dog has to be treated the same as the second dog.
Well, #1, I'm going to turn my camera off, actually, and just talk. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But we're talking about Jack Russells and doing what? They're dominant, they're aggressive.
She's got a nice lady in England, she's got 2 Jacks, and you know what they're doing. One's being the boss and bossing the other, nipping and, doing the whole thing.
Okay. And the first thing I ask and recommend is that the dogs be altered. If you've got issues with your dog, such as aggression or fear, then I'm not sure why anybody would want to breed that and have more of them. If that's the way they are, they've been altered already, then you've got to start working on both dogs at the same time to show both those dogs that you are the leader. And by doing that, showing them leadership, giving them walks, setting rules, and feeding them properly, you're going to become the pack leader, and the dogs are just going to become Jack Russells. But they can become territorial because if they snap at somebody or growl at somebody, we typically pick them up because they are small enough to pick up, and we say, it's okay, it's Uncle Tom. Well, it's not okay. Remember, you're rewarding a fearful state of mind. Think about the state of mind at the time you give him affection. If he's jumping and you give him affection, he's going to jump. If he's fearful and you give him affection, you're teaching him to be fearful. So you've just got to, on our website we do have a book out. It's called There's Hope, and it talks about everything you guys need to do with your dogs to make them stable. If you've got aggressive dogs, that's a different story. We do those. But we wrote our book, and Gary and Boaz is putting us on the show so we can help get the book out there to help you people with dogs with issues. Even if your dog is the best dog in the world, I'm sure you know somebody that has a dog with issues. And that dog's going to end up in the pound and perhaps euthanized because of it. We just need help spreading the word that there's hope. Dogs allowed on the furniture. It's your house, it's your furniture, you decide. I have Bernese Mountain Dogs. Janice has Rhodesian Ridgebacks. Yes, our dogs